And welcome along to AFTV Transfer Daily, the show that keeps you up to date with fans who've been linked with January transfer move to Arsenal. Hi, and welcome along to AFTV Transfer Daily, the show that keeps you up to date with players that have been linked with a January transfer move to Arsenal. Lots of rumours still around Arsenal, as you can imagine, and it's all about a striker. Every day I'm being asked about it. I was even this morning on an interview on TalkSport, and that's what they straight on me. Are you going to get Tony? Are you going to get this person, that person? Everybody knows that Arsenal needs a striker, and that's not always a good thing as well, by the way, because when everybody knows what you need, the price goes up and up and up and up. One of the strikers that Arsenal said to be really interested in is Victor Boniface of Bayer Leverkusen. Now, this guy has been charring fire this season. He's come out of nowhere, really, and has just landed on the scene, has been absolutely brilliant for Bayer Leverkusen, who've been absolutely brilliant over there in the Bundesliga. They're top of the league. He scored 16 goals and had 8 assists. And he's a really exciting player. He's fast, he's strong, and has really been lighting up the Bundesliga. Now, obviously, Arsenal are going to get linked with players like this. We know what Arsenal need. We know what the problem is at the moment, the lack of goals. We're creating chances, but we're not putting those chances away. So will Arsenal move for Boniface? And another thing that could help Arsenal in their search for a striker, particularly in this case, is that Victor Boniface is a big Arsenal fan and would, jump at the move to come to Arsenal. The problem being is, will Leverkusen be willing to sell this player when they're having such a great season over there in the Bundesliga? This is the difficulty that we've got in January, and I've spoken about it over the last couple of days since we started back Transfer Daily. It's if they would let a striker like this go. If the money's crazy, I'm sure they will. But do Arsenal have that crazy money? We all know that there's been a lot of talk about FFP. We don't know what Arsenal's stated position on that is. Nobody really knows, despite what everyone's saying. So could they make an offer for Boniface? But Boniface is a big Arsenal fan and may be willing to make that switch. So again, it's one of those that we're going to have to watch this month of January. There was another striker being very heavily linked with a move to Arsenal yesterday. His name's called Marcos Leonardo. He plays for Santos over there in Brazil. Santos, by the way, legendary Brazilian team, the team that Pelé used to play for. But they were relegated this season, which was like, listen, think of it like Arsenal being relegated. That was like, it was seismic. But one player that still had a good season was Marcos Leonardo. He's still very young, only 20, and was said to be available for around about £20 million. And Tim Vickery, the Brazilian football expert, he was on BBC and he did an interview, Sky, and he did an interview and he was talking about how he's been told Arsenal are really, really interested in him. Possible signing. He was talking about how he's a really good striker, but he's very, very raw at the moment. Well, he's not going to be coming to Arsenal. Big blow if indeed Arsenal were looking at him, because he has agreed to join Benfica and will be joining Benfica. The deal has been sealed and done. So Arsenal, big blow for them. They're going to miss out on Leonardo if indeed he was one of their targets. Now, a player that is interesting Arsenal a lot, and in particular Mikel Arteta is a massive fan of this player, is Martin Zubimendi of Real Sociedad. Now, we have been linked with this player before, notably last year in January. Arsenal were really, really interested in him. We've said to have approached the players' representatives about a move, but were knocked back because Zubimendi said, listen, I want to stay with Real Sociedad till the end of the season. Real Sociedad had a chance of getting into the Champions League, which they did in the end do. And Zubimendi was a very, very important part of that. He's a great young player, still only 24, defensive midfielder, and is said to have a release clause of around about £53 million in his contract. Now, a lot of the rumours going around is that Mikel Arteta would like to bring him in in this January transfer window and is pushing Arsenal to try and get this deal done. We've known about all the issues with Thomas Partey. Literally, Partey, I think it's 5 games this season he's played. I'm not even sure if he started all of those. I mean, basically, we've been without Partey, and, you know, listening to Chris Hughton talking the other day, he suffered a really bad injury, and, you know, he said worst injury he's ever had, and hasn't gone to AFCON and could be out for even longer, if we even really see him much at all for this season. So Mikel Arteta really interested in trying to get Zubimendi in. The problem being, again, is can we get him away from Sociedad in January? Sociedad, at the moment, in the top 6 over there in Spain, hasn't been going as well as it did last year for them in La Liga, but they are still in the Champions League. Would they want to let Zubimendi go, or will they cash in on him now? Listen, he's very loyal to Sociedad. It's the team that he's grown up with and may not want to leave him. But he's a very, very talented player. And seeing as Partey seems to be out all the time would be a great signing to have in that midfield, and maybe then free up Declan Rice to sort of be that sort of driving force and be able to roam around a bit more and carry the ball a bit more in that midfield. So going to be very interesting to see what happens with Martin Zubimendi, but Arteta apparently pushing to get this deal done. A player who looks like he could be on the way out from the midfield is the other defensive midfielder, Mohamed Elneny. Elneny, who's on his way to AFCON to play for Egypt, has been linked with 2 Turkish teams, Besiktas and Trabzonspor. Of course, he's previously been at Besiktas, where he did really, really well. Not getting any game time at the Emirates. He's only played 1 game. Can't really see him figuring much from now till the end of the season unless there were injuries. His contract is up at the end of the season. He had that injury last season that kept him out for literally the whole season, but he just can't get back in the team. He's got players like Jorginho as well in front of him. So it wouldn't be surprising to see Mohamed Elneny leave this January transfer window. I spoke about it on, I'm losing track of the days now because it's New Year's. Was it Monday I spoke about this? Ousmane Diomande of Sporting CP. Now, he's been interested in Arsenal a lot. They are very, very interested in him. 20-year-old centre-back, plays for the Ivory Coast, also going over to the African Cup of Nations. Arsenal said to be very, very interested in signing him as well. We know that they're looking for defensive reinforcements. However, they're not the only club. Chelsea are said to be really, really interested in him as well, and are also preparing some sort of structured deal to try and bring him into Stamford Bridge. So if Arsenal are going to get this deal done this January transfer window, they're going to have to move very, very quickly indeed. He's said to have a release clause of £70 million. Nobody's going to be willing to pay that this January transfer window. And again, will Sporting sell him? They're having a great season over there in Portugal. They're top of the league right now, and their defence has been rock solid with him in it. Would they want to sell him? But listen, Arsenal really interested. Chelsea really interested. Newcastle really interested. It's going to be interesting to see if he stays with Sporting until the end of this month. Ben White, our defender, is set for a brand new contract at Arsenal. He's been having a little bit of an indifferent season by his very high standards that he set last year. But we did hear the other day that he's been struggling with a little bit of an injury. But Ben White set to get a brand new contract at Arsenal. Contract extension, which is good news. Listen, he's still a top quality player, and if he can get fully fit, I'm sure we'll get to see the player that we saw last year. But Ben White set for a new contract. And what are we going to do with Aaron Ramsdale? That is the big question again this month. Been linked with moves away to lots of clubs. But will Arsenal be willing to sell him this month? Arsenal said to want about 30 to 40 million pounds for him. There are a couple of teams that need goalkeepers. Newcastle, there's no Nick Pope at the moment, although Dubravka's coming for them and he's been doing pretty well. He pulled off some great saves against Liverpool the other night. You've got Chelsea, who've got a long-term injury to Sanchez, but Petrovic has come in for them and he hasn't done too badly either. So will they be tempted to come and get Aaron Ramsdale? And do Arsenal even want to sell him? Because if they sell Aaron Ramsdale, they're going to have to go out there and buy another goalkeeper as a number 2, So is it worth even selling him right now? I mean, Ramsdale's keen to get game time. He's, really been hit hard by the fact that he's not the Arsenal number 1. We know that this is a year which the Euros are on. So any player that's playing for any international team wants to be playing as much as possible so they can force their way into the team. But at the moment, Aaron Ramsdale's not going to get a look in if he's not playing at all for Arsenal. So will Arsenal sell him this month? And will they get like a big enough bid for him? One of the things we're going to have to wait and see. And the last one to tell you about, this one which was very intriguing that came up yesterday, Curtis Jones of Liverpool being linked with a move to Arsenal. It's come from nowhere, this one, because Arsenal said to be a big admirer of Curtis Jones. They like him. They'd be interested in bringing him in. But the rumours are that Liverpool are going to keep him. They're not looking to sell him. He scored the other night, of course, for them. He's starting to figure a bit more under Jurgen Klopp. Will Arsenal make a move for Curtis Jones? For me, we got Emile Smith-Rowe. We ain't even playing him. Why are we going to go and get Curtis Jones? It wouldn't make no sense to me. But listen, it's a rumour. And that's what we do here. We tell you about the rumours that are out there. So those are the rumours for today. Don't forget, we will keep you up to date with anything that moves regarding Arsenal. We know that they're looking at making moves this January transfer window. If anything happens at all, we'll bring it to you with breaking news. We're also here every single day with Transfer Daily, and I've got a big Transfer Daily live show coming up that I'm going to tell you about, where you guys will get a chance to come on and talk about the players that you would like Arsenal to try and get. Listen, thanks for watching the show today. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you tomorrow.